Good morning, members, and welcome to this breakfast session from IBPC with representatives from Dubai Customs. This is the first governmental sort of a meeting that we are having after the elections were over last month, and I take this opportunity to welcome each one of you who are present today. For the benefit of members, and I was just going through to understand Dubai Customs, I just realized that it is one of the oldest governmental departments with more than 100 years of operation in the UAE. Previously, it was called Farada, collection of tax and duties imposed on imported goods. And it is also said to be the mother of many departments, because I think most of the departments in Dubai started their offices in Dubai Customs Office and then moved to their respective locations. Today, we all know that Dubai Customs has grown to be the gateway of trade, not only to Dubai, but for the world. And it is with great pleasure that we invite all the representatives from Dubai Customs to have taken that time to attend this meeting and address our members. And I will now request our President, Mr. Nimesh Makwana, to make his formal welcome address. Thank you.
Dear Dubai Customs Consultative Council representative, past President, Mr. Paras Sadat Puri, and we have Ms. Bindu Suresh Chatur, Krishnan Ramachandran, Vice President, seniors, and fellow IBPC members, friends, guests, invitees. Good morning to each one of you. We welcome Mr. Idris Behjad, Director of Client Happiness Department, Ms. Nasim Al-Miheri, Senior Manager, Statistics and Studies, Strategy and Corporate Excellence Department, Mr. Nimanan Bobade, Project Manager of IT Technology, and Mr. Abdul Farooq, who has coordinated and supported. We have with us Mr. Saeed Salmin Saeed, Supervisor Data Analysis and Reporting, Strategy and Corporate Excellence Department from Dubai Customs. We welcome you all and thank you very much for taking out time from your busy schedule. I attended on March 18th, Dubai Customs consultative meeting, and when I realized the meeting is so informative, so I thought it's in the larger interest of IBPC members, we should have this meeting, and I requested the representative of Dubai Customs, and they were so kind enough to accept our invitation. We are in touch with His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan Mubarak Al Nahyan, Cabinet Member and UAE Minister of Tolerance Office, to bless IBPC and its members with his talk and wisdom on tolerance, and will intimate to members very soon as we have the date from His Excellency's office. You all must have received the April 2019 calendar, and we have lined up different events. Around 6 events are lined up so far, which includes the delegates coming from Goa, Vibrant Goa Summit, as well as KIZAD, Wheels on Dubai Court and DIFC, and Consumer Protection, and we are going to start business networking meeting as well. We are in process of various initiatives in the larger interest of IBPC and its member, and to see how we can contribute for the growth of this economy. And we support each and every initiative of government, and will bring each and every initiative for the benefit of IBPC on this platform. And we can learn from it, and then we can be partner to those initiatives. With respect to membership, before I close my remarks, I request each one of you, we need to increase our membership strength, and we have to showcase the strength of our IBPC. So I request each one of you, if every month, if each one of you can introduce to one member, we are currently around 700 or 750 members. So each month, if we introduce one member, I'm not asking for more, we can reach to the next level. So without support from each one of you, it's not possible. So request each one of you to come forward, support in all the IBPC activities, and support whatever the initiatives executive committee is taking in the larger interest of members. Thank you very much, and I would like to now call upon Mr. Idris, who is going to speak on Dubai Loyalty Program. Mr. Idris is the Director of Client Happiness Department, and I will hand over the podium to him to take it forward.
Very good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Namaste. I'm very glad to be here today. This is one of the happiest moments for me to be engaged with IPPC members and to see my dear friends here. I always, encourage such kind of engagements to be between the government and the private sector, and to reach and to an extent where it is a real partnership and collaboration. Thank you, Nimesh. Thank you, IBPC, for inviting us. And I hope today we will give you some of new initiatives which we are trying to implement on Dubai government level. And before I start my presentation on Dubai Loyalty Program, I just want to give you a brief background of the Dubai 10X initiative, which is started 2 years ago. Actually, the government of Dubai wanted the government entities in Dubai to come up with disruptive ideas, out-of-the-box ideas, which will have Dubai ahead of others by 10 years. In the first version of 10X, so each entity has to come up with one idea, and that idea should be disruptive. In the version number 2, where we have participated with the Dubai Loyalty Program as an idea, it was a collaborative, let's say, efforts between more than one entity. So the government in version 2, one of the criteria is that it should be more than 2 entities working on the same initiative. The things I will talk about, the 10X initiative and how they have worked with us as the entities and members of the ideas, they take us into certain stages of doing some trainings on how we come up with our final presentations, how we can make it as a storytelling. To be honest, for the first time, maybe I will share these insights. So at the time when there were workshops to do the storytellings, I was away and I came back in September 4th was my presentation. So in the morning when I met the other members from other government entities, everyone is panicking before this final presentation to the jury, and they're thinking of how we will be presenting, whether we will win. And when I've seen the members are panicking, I went away. I said, be calm. And I thought of a gentleman who's with us today. And I said, I will not create a story from my imagination, but I need to touch upon a real story. So Mr. Paras Shahdatpuri was the one who was in my mind, always. When I went to the presentation, and all the other members from other government entities were there, I started with this exactly. I said, there is an Indian gentleman who was a former diplomat in UK, thought of starting his business in London. He gave his resignation in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in India. While he's traveling to London, he touched upon Dubai, and for some reasons, his connected flight get delayed, and he approached an immigration officer who received him with a smiley face and asked him in Hindi what you require, and he asked him if I can have an entry to Dubai. He takes his passport, goes to his superior, gets him his visa, and says to him, go and visit Dubai. So Mr. Paras Shahdatpuri at that time, in 1988, he calls his friend and he goes around Bar Dubai area, if I'm not mistaken, to take a round, and he felt something connecting him to the city, which changed his mind from starting his business in UK, and he said then he didn't have an intention, by the way, to be in Dubai. That's a coincidence happened. So then he started thinking, if I will start a business, I will start it from Dubai. When I said Mr. Paras Shahdat Puri's name, you know, the head of juries looked at me, and he didn't know that story, and he knows Mr. Paras. He says, is this IBPC? I said, yes, he was the IBPC president. So when we looked at, you know, the other jury members, so I touched upon a real story, which is a successful story of Dubai. Today, Dubai is a land of opportunities. And we are grateful to all the businesses, for all the businessmen who started their business in Dubai, and they are really contributing to Dubai's growth. And thank you to all of you. Without you, we cannot do anything. Whatever is good for you is good for Dubai, is good for us. So I said exactly, to retain such businesses in Dubai, we need to create and to start Dubai Loyalty Program. So what is Dubai Loyalty Program? I'm coming to the idea itself. First of all, we are starting as 5 entities. We are taking the ownership of this project or program. We have Dubai Chamber member with us. We have DED, and we have Dubai Municipality and Dubai Land Department. At this stage of the program implementation, I will take you through all the timelines, what are the milestones of delivering this project in Dubai. Why we need a Dubai Loyalty Program? We said we need to increase the collaboration between government entities and to have a competitive advantage for investors, and basically to have an economic growth of Dubai, and to have a regularity conformance and increase customer happiness. At the end of the day, Dubai wants to be the happiest city, and we have to achieve this by 2021. So we need to come up with a lot of initiative to touch each and everyone's life in Dubai. And Dubai Loyalty Program will be touching each individual, whether he's living as a resident in Dubai, whether he's a visitor to Dubai, and the corporate companies, where I'll give you some highlights on that. So it is the first government loyalty program of its kind worldwide. What is, you know what we say? We have to break the norm of government. So we're saying the government will pay back based on different parameters, based on the spending, as the other loyalty program. As much you spend, you will get some points, and these points can be redeemed and collected. And this is what we would try to do. And it will be a single cohesive program. So all government entities will be under one system, where it will gather all the information as businesses and as individuals, and they will be in different categories based on different parameters, which we are setting up as a guidelines for all government entities. So basically, there is government collaboration, as I said, and there is certain roles and responsibilities from each government entity who are participating in this, implementing the Dubai Loyalty Program. We have 2 main support government entities. One is the DOV, the Department of Finance, to do the legislation, because you know, there is some points and spending. Dubai Smart Government will be our support from the technical perspective, because if we want to create any new app or we use any of the apps, we need to get their support on that. And we have some ideas about how we will have this loyalty program under one cohesive system. What we will have also is that we will have a collaboration from the other government entities. Farouk, I think we have missed the roadmap of how we are going for. Actually, this has been officially approved. This is one of the 16 ideas, which has been approved by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, Crown Prince of Dubai. out of 52, which was the final shortlisted ideas. We have a clear direction that we have to implement this program within maximum 24 months, starting from 28th of February. What we are trying to create in this program, now we are having some workshops, engagement with these 5 government entities. We will have some engagements with different government entities while we are implementing the project. And one new thing which we will gonna create within this program is the loyalty bank. Loyalty bank, it will be like a central loyalty bank governed and monitored by Department of Finance, which will distribute these points into different government entities, which they will distribute it back to their clients. And what we will have also within this program, set of benefits. So there will be different categories. So let's say A and B and C categories. So the benefits will differ from each category to another. And what we would like to ensure within this program is to encourage more compliance and to engage more customers and everyone in Dubai to have the benefits, whether he's an individual, as I stated, or a visitor to Dubai, where he will be having these points which can be used on government services, not to pay any fines or other things. So it will be points which can be redeemed and used for government services. So what we are saying, the government should pay back toward its customers and to create this belonging and loyalty. Thank you for listening to me. And if you have any questions, we will have the Q&A, and I'm ready to hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idris Bezad, for that short and concise presentation from your side. May I now request the next speaker who will speak on Dubai General Trade 2018, Ms. Naseem Al-Mahiri, Senior Manager, Statistics and Studies, Strategy and Corporate Excellence Department. Request Madam to please come and address the members. Thank you.
Thank you for this invitation and to give us the chance to share with all the members the update figure for Dubai, latest figure for the Dubai trade. Dubai non-oil foreign trade is of the great importance to Dubai economy. The trade growth of Dubai foreign trade volume accelerated in between the year 2009 up to 2018. It's reached to 72%. The total value for Dubai foreign trade, non-oil commodity trade, amounted to 1.3 trillion in 2018, maintaining trade performance compared with the 2017. With respect to Dubai non-oil foreign trade through the trade sectors, the value of import is reached to 59%, with a total value of 770 billion dirham, and the re-export with the 31% growth, 31% of the total trade, and it's recorded 402 billion dirham. And the export, it takes 10% of the total trade with the total value of 127 billion dirhams. This is the 44% growth and the total value of the weight, which is recorded 91.4 in 2018, compared with the 2009. The total value of Dubai non-oil by the weight achieved to 0.6 growth during 2018 compared with the previous year of 2017. And this is by the weight value. It's regarding the import, export, and re-export. Dubai Partner Trade Map doesn't show any change in 2018 in the ranking of the geographical region. The stability of the partner structure reflects the strong commercial relation of Dubai and its position in a main business gateway and component of the world trade map. The total Dubai general trade of the top commodity during 2018 showed that the gold, diamond, jewelry ranked the first of the top commodities. The telephone is the second top commodities, then the motor cars. The fourth top commodities, the petroleum oil, and the fifth top commodities, automatic data processing machines. This is the segmentation of the Dubai trade by transfer mode, by the value and by the weight. We look at the air transfer mode. It's recorded to 612.12 billion, and it takes the highest percentage with the recorded of 47%, and the sea recorded 482.7 billion dirham and take around 37% of the total trade. And the trade by the road is recorded 204.7 and it take around 16% of the total trade. And if we look to the other side of the trade by weight, it's look here different. The sea is recorded around 82% with a total of 74.6 million tons. And by the road, it take around 17% with a total value of 15.9 million tons. And the air, it take around 1%. To go deep with the segmentation of the Dubai trade, we look at the direct trade itself. It take around 58% with the total value of 757.3 billion dirhams. And the free zone trade take around 41% with a total value of 531.9 billion dirhams. And the custom warehouse, it take 1% with a total value of 10.4 billion dirhams. And to help most of the members to look more in the Dubai trade by the sectors, we provide this information. We can look into the machinery electronic equipment. It's recorded 371 billion dirhams in 2018. And the top countries, it is China, US, and Saudi Arabia. In this point, we look at for the import, export, re-export as a total. The second is the precious stone and jewelries. It's recorded 353 billion dirhams. And the top countries, India, Switzerland, and Hong Kong. The vehicle and aircraft equipment It's recorded around 129 billion dirham, and the top country, Japan, US, and Germany. The base metal and product is recorded 73.4 billion dirhams, and top country, China, India, and Sultanate of Oman. Mineral product is recorded 67.6 billion dirham, and the top country, Iran, Saudi Arabia, India. The chemical recorded 65.2 billion dirham, and the top country, US, Saudi Arabia, and France. Textile recorded 36.5 billion dirham, and top country, China, India, Iran. Plastic and rubber product recorded 31.8 billion dirham, and top country, China, India, and Saudi Arabia. Optical and medical, it's recorded 27.9 billion dirham, and the top country, Switzerland, US, China. And this is according to the geographical trade. Asia is recorded number 1 with the total value of 791.8 billion dirham. And the second, the Europe, it's 247.4 billion dirham. And after that, Africa, 136.6. North America, 92.5 billion, and South America 20.4 billion, and the ocean is 10.9 billion. If you need more information, you are welcome to contact us or to send to the customer relation any inquiry regarding the information or trade statistic. So we are happy to answer any questions come to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Naseem. I think it's for the first time that we are getting a wide perspective on trade and data on trade transaction that is happening across Dubai. It was extremely interesting and useful, Madam, for whatever you presented today. May I now request the next speaker, Mr. Nemanand Bobade, who is going to give a perspective on blockchain technology and how it is going to be used by Dubai Customs for the benefit of our members.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Naseem. Thank you, Idris. Thank you, IPBC, for giving this opportunity to give you perspective on the blockchain. My name is Nemanand Bobade. I'm project manager with Dubai Customs. I'm working on some of the key strategic initiatives for custom. And some of them, two of them are e-commerce and blockchain. And today we'll talk about blockchain. Now let me ask you, if you have to choose 4 most important things to start a business, what it will be? Okay, so think this as a Dubai as a place, and you want to start up something, you want to start something. What will be those 4 things? Can someone just speak up? Let's make it a bit interactive. Yes, please. Okay, capital, human resource, good. IT infrastructure, vision, trust among stakeholders. Anything else? Okay, so let me pick up some of this, what you mentioned. So I want to start with the trust. If you want to start a business, you go to your closest friend and discuss idea. Why? Because you trust him. You go to another closest associate maybe ask for a funding. Okay, so human resource, capital, those comes later. Yes, vision, ideas, those are there. But some of the key factors is a trust, transparency of the place. Why Dubai is so vibrant? Why people want to come to Dubai and open offices? Transparency that government provides, right? To do a good business. I mean, if you want to do a business in a right way. So trust, transparency. Anything else? Some other bright ideas? We got, someone said technology, platform, because today's business model has to be disruptive. Traditional business models are not working. And that's where a technology like blockchain comes into picture. Okay, so let me give you a little story. So what is a blockchain? To understand, let me go back a little bit and let me talk about, say, Uber. You all know Uber. What Uber did? It disrupted traditional transportation model, right? So the way transportation used to happen, it disrupted that. There is Ola. There are so many success stories. Now, all these were technology driven. But what if I say blockchain promises to disrupt Uber? Yeah, blockchain promises to disrupt some of the innovative business ideas that currently exist. Is it possible? Think again, think big, big vision. Yes, it is possible. Blockchain is a technology who can disrupt the traditional business. Just 1 second. Okay, so blockchain has a potential to disrupt the new business model which currently flourishing like Uber, Olas and so on. So how is that possible? I will explain you that. Now, blockchain is sometimes considered as just a technology. I will say it's not a technology, it's something like a fundamental technology, like internet. How internet changed the way business is done, the way supply chain is operating, tremendously, entirely disruptive. Same way, blockchain also has a potential to disrupt the supply chain, disrupt the entire, you can say, entire spectrum of businesses. Blockchain currently is in very early stage. It's like internet in 90s. So think the way internet has changed our life in last 20 years, same way blockchain will change your life in next 20 years. Now, when we say internet, we think about e-commerce, Gmail, social network as a use cases. But blockchain is not this kind of a use case. It's a fundamental, it is something similar to internet itself. So it's a platform which will enable you to build the ecosystem which will support businesses and new business ideas. Now, you all might have heard about the Bitcoin. A lot of time when I say blockchain, people think it's a Bitcoin. How many of you heard about Bitcoin? Most of you, right? And there are so many other currencies. Do you think Bitcoin is a blockchain? A lot of people think that, but no, Bitcoin is not a blockchain. Blockchain is a technology which is underlying Bitcoin. So blockchain is enabling you digital currencies. Now, why blockchain is enabling? Again, I will go back to trust and transparency. Trust and transparency. Why Bitcoin is become so successful? Because it is taking out the middleman. It is taking out banks, exchange houses, and so on. And it is providing you a direct wallet, a peer-to-peer kind of a transaction where person can directly transfer money to another party, another entity. You might say, well, but banks, exchange houses, they have to be there. Government has to be there. Yes, of course, everyone will have some sort of a role, but imagine if we reduce these intermediaries, and that is possible through a blockchain. Again, I will come back to that. So there are different ways to think about a blockchain. We all know a traditional ledger. I can see there are a lot of participants who is here since last maybe 30, 40, 50 years. And we might have definitely seen this ledger. What is this used for? It is traditional ledger to record transactions. What we do here? We record transactions, right? Now, let's understand, let's think if you are sending money from, say, Dubai to your parents in India. What you do? You go to exchange house, right? So there you will say, okay, I need to transfer, say, 1,000 dirhams, yeah, whatever money, and your parents are going to receive it in India. It becomes simple with exchange houses, but what if it is more simpler? It's possible. How? Now, in traditional, current situation, every transaction gets recorded on the ledger. So whenever, say, you are trying to send money, so there is a bank where their ledger get updated. There is an exchange house whose ledger will get updated. There is a receiving bank and so on. So what is happening with this? There is a multiplicity, there is a duplicity of efforts, there is a duplicity of transaction on the ledger. And because of this, there are two major issues. One is speed get reduced, and another is, if you try to send 1,000 dirhams, by the time your parent gets money, they might get, say, 900 dirhams, 950 dirhams. Of course, the transaction cost is reduced, but still. So what is happening? There is a friction in the system because of intermediaries, because of, say, exchange houses, insurance, government authorities. What all they are doing? They all are maintaining their own ledgers. So your bank has a ledger, this authorities has their ledger, your parents' bank has a ledger. And because there are multiple authorities, multiple entities involved, the transaction takes more time, right? Transaction takes more time. It costs more. That's where you are spending maybe 20 dirhams to do one transaction, and just that money goes to exchange house. Now, what if we can reduce these intermediaries? Imagine if we have one universal ledger in the cloud. Imagine you have one universal ledger in the cloud, and all transactions are recorded on this ledger, and all the parties, from you as a sender, your parents as a receiver, exchange houses, insurance, your government authorities, all of them, they all access the same ledger. Now it sounds complicated, right? No, it's not that complicated. Again, we need to think out of box. We need to think about the business cases. So with the blockchain, with today's available technology, this is possible. So in this case, all this will act as a nodes of the blockchain, which will connect to a central ledger, which will be, say, on the cloud. Everyone is very silent, okay? Is it difficult? It's okay, clear? Yeah. No, it will. Yeah, so no, I don't want. I want to take out that middleman. I will come to that. I want to take out that middleman so that you can directly transact from peer to peer. Blockchain is a peer-to-peer network. It's a transaction between two nodes where all parties are available, aware of those. However, there are no intermediaries. Okay? I will come to that. So it means whenever the new transaction happens, what will happen is your ledger, which is on the cloud, will get updated with one of the node, one of the block. Now, what is this block? This is the transaction that we had just done. And this transaction is validated, verified by multiple parties. So maybe sender's bank, exchange house, receiver's bank. There are intermediaries, but transaction is not going through them. Transaction is directly on the cloud, and everyone has access to that transaction. So everyone can validate. Now, in a traditional approach, what happens is there is a possibilities of a fraud. If someone changes his ledger and other parties say, I have a different ledger, there is some sort of a dissent between two parties. Whereas when you have a centralized ledger and everyone is accessing a same ledger, you have a one true copy which can be used, viewed by everyone. Now each node has exactly same copy of a data. Each node has already cryptographed, secured that data with some sort of a cryptographic algorithm. It means it is not alterable. In case if someone tried to hack into the network and change that node, again it's a problem because all this ledger is available at a different entities, different nodes. So it is not possible for a hacker to go and hack and modify all the ledgers of all parties. And that's where blockchain gives you something called as immutability. So what is that immutability? It means if someone tries to hack change the data, it is not possible as ledger data is stored at a different nodes of a system, blockchain system. Every transaction, as I said, is cryptographed. The ledger is shared and distributed so everyone can see it. There is a transparency, and because of cryptography, it is secured. Now, no one owns the change. So there is no central authority like a bank, exchange house. No one owns it. So the question comes is, if no one owns it, how this chain get managed? Because to manage this blockchain, of course, you need some sort of IT infrastructure, you need a processing power, of course, there will be cost involved, there will be, a lot of things involved. So that's where the concept of digital currencies came into picture. So to maintain the blockchain, you need this lot of processing capabilities, and that's where in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto, he came out with the concept of a digital currency, which we call it as a blockchain. Of course, today there are so many other digital currencies, but this was one of the first one. So the people who is responsible for managing those nodes, those transactions, they are called as miners. And as an incentive, whoever providing those processing capability, they get a Bitcoin. So you might have heard there are companies who is mining Bitcoin. So what they are doing basically, they are contributing to this blockchain network by, you can say, replicating those nodes and providing their capability to verify and validate those nodes. And as a result, as a benefit, they make some money out of it. They make some currencies, Bitcoin out of it. Now, a lot of time people think Bitcoin and a blockchain, it's a tricky subject. Bitcoin is dependent on a blockchain as a technology, but Bitcoin is not a blockchain. Keep this in mind. Now, Dubai's government is always about growth, adopting new technology. They want to be first in the world to adopt whatever comes into the market. Again, as a government of Dubai, our aim is to really make this as one of the most happiest city and most, you can say, friendly place for business communities to operate and flourish. So it's with the business community, Dubai government entities will flourish. So His Highness, he came out with a Dubai Blockchain Strategy 2021 with the aim of transferring country and its economy with the ecosystem of a blockchain. Now think, once again, let me talk about ecosystem, the blockchain as a ecosystem. Bank, the currency. How much money we spend to print currency? Lots of money. We need to store the physical currency, again, lot of infrastructure. We need to transport these physical currencies, again, lot of infrastructure. Imagine if you have a digital currencies which can be used in every government transaction or with a peer-to-peer transaction. And that's where Dubai's vision is about adopting some sort of a digital currencies which can be used by a business community for peer-to-peer or governmental transaction. And that's where Dubai Custom also is coming with an initiative in regards to a blockchain to support, to facilitate the supply chain side of it. Countries like Japan, Canada, Estonia, Mauritius, they are leading in the blockchain, in the digital currencies. For example, Mauritius, they call themselves as an Ethereum island. They want to say everything will happen through a digital currency. Of course, it can't be done in a one day, but yes, it's slowly going there. The vision was basically to ensure that blockchain technology will help save time, efforts, and resources and facilitate the people, business communities, and everyone. So that was the vision. In line with this vision, some of the areas, the application of blockchain that has been identified are energy, water, you have transport, logistic, again, supply chain part of it, economic development, tourism, economic development, here again digital currencies will play a key role, tourism, safety, justice, municipality and land. You might have heard about digitization of land record. It's a traditional notion that, okay, land records should be computerized and they should be kept on the computer. But what happens if someone hacks that computer and changes the title, ownership of that land to yourself? It becomes a big issue, right? Paper document can be better in that way. But imagine if you are using a blockchain, then there is a possibility the entire history of those records, ownership history of that record can be maintained through a blockchain, and it will be immutable. It means it can't be changed by someone. Whenever it gets sold, another person will take a membership. So that's how the ownership, the land can be used. In fact, in India, Andhra Pradesh government is already doing this. They are using a blockchain to digitize the land records. Then there is a health, there is a social service, there is a smart cities. So you name it, and blockchain can disrupt the traditional way of doing business and all these sectors. Of course, I might have missed something, but yes, it is possibly, you can possibly use it everywhere. Now, how blockchain can help in a supply chain, your trade, your customs administration? I'm sure some of you might be involved in a supply chain. So this is the area that Dubai Custom is looking into. So we are looking at how blockchain can help us on import-export declarations to get the proof of origin, goods classification, customs valuation, collecting duties without third-party declarations, and targeted and accurate inspection. Think about, say, proof of origin. Whenever you import goods into country, you have to always provide some sort of proof of origin. Now imagine if this proof was stored in the blockchain, which cannot be changed because it is cryptographed, the nodes, it is replicated at various nodes, and if a government trusts that, all the paper will vanish. There will be no need of really using a paper to say this is, proof of origin. Government can directly access the blockchain record and he will get the, history, proof of what is that proof of origin. And all these places, we are trying to come out with the use cases and see how blockchain can be worked. Now, there are various initiatives happening in UAE. Dubai Custom is working currently on e-commerce use case. E-commerce is another critical area for a business community because e-commerce is growing, and again it is going to disturb a traditional trade. So Dubai Custom has identified this as one of the key use cases, and we are trying to partner with some courier companies and some other companies, and we are working on this solution. This is work in progress. Then there is a Dubai Chamber who is working on Silk Road initiative. There is a Dubai municipality working on food import related initiative. DPW is working on unified customer registration. Imagine the pain of going to different entities and registering. If there is a unified registration, how wonderful it can be. So that's the initiative. And Dubai Custom is also working with some of the global initiatives. So there is IBM and Merck's joint venture, which is called as a trade lens, which will provide end-to-end supply chain visibility on the transactions, what is happening from, country of origin till whichever the country it get, imported or re-exported. So we are also working with them to see how Dubai Custom can partner with them and provide facilities to our business community. Now, this is very high-level view of what Dubai Custom is trying to work. We are trying to work with the freight forwarders, shipping lines, port terminal, of course, custom authorities, but not us only, other customs authorities, permit authorities, and banks, and so on. So this will be blockchain ecosystem which will help us flourish the trade of Dubai, UAE. Now, blockchain solution cannot be built overnight. It cannot be built just like that. It has to be a part of ecosystem. So we are starting with the small use cases, and based upon success of those use cases, we'll be trying to put more use cases together, more partners together, so that you get end-to-end supply chain solutions over the blockchain. Now, some of the partners that we are working out with Oracle, IBM, Tech Mahindra, Deloitte, and Avanza Innovation. So these are the companies we are working with to develop this solution. Now, Dubai Custom hopes with a blockchain as a platform, not only for e-commerce, but for a supply chain, we will be able to save a lot of time for our trade partners, as well as provide a very, you can say, transparent environment where whatever you import, you export, it will be available for every trusted party to see and use that information to flourish their trade. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for your presentation. A quick question to the gentleman on the right. Sir, we trade in Dubai, and we have ships coming in to different ports. Our small problem that we face with the customs departments, unlike the airports where you have custom officers available 24 hours a day, on the ports you have certain work timings, because of which during the weekends or during off hours, our goods coming off the ships, which is for repairs into Dubai, and then being repaired and sent back, or spares being sent to the ships, get stuck. Can you cast some light on it and help us out to advise us by when do you expect a 24 hours watch routine type of thing, so that we can be more
to sit one-to-one and understand where is the pain you are facing on this kind of transaction with customs, and we try to collaborate on that and sort it out for you.
Thank you. I will take your card after this meeting then.
Sure.
Good morning, Mr. Idris. Just want to understand, when you spoke about the Dubai loyalty program, how do businesses gain the loyalty points and how do they redeem them?
Before coming to how the businesses will benefit out of this loyalty program, we basically evolved the idea from our understanding and a practice which we are today having in Dubai Customs. We have something called an accreditation program. Our accreditation program has two parameters for selecting the customers who can be on that accreditation program. One is the volume of the trade. The other parameter is the history and the compliance history with customs. So basically, we have two parameters to select the customers who can have the benefits of accreditation. If you get an or as a customer or as a company, you get this status with customs, one of the benefits you get the financial benefit that we don't ask you for any standing guarantees from the banks or other things. So we give you something called a self-guarantee. It is the extreme, let's say, extent of trust. So basically we ask you for one undertaking and you get these benefits. So you don't require to freeze your bank guarantee for usage of deposits. This is one of the things, or your duty payments. The idea, when it's been evolved from this practice, we said it should have different categories based on different parameters which we should look. We said we have to look at it from Dubai perspective and not customs. So we are saying there is certain customers who are bringing volumes of goods, weight-wise, but customs do not collect duty on weight. But maybe the handling authorities, as much more volumes on weight comes, they are benefiting. So it's a benefit of Dubai. So we have changed some parameters from our end to look at it from Dubai perspective. This is the part of the benefits and how you will be getting based on your trades. And there is different parameters. We are setting it up. Regarding the points, how it will be collected and redeemed, it's based on the spending. So based on your spending with the government, there will be criteria to, you say, if you spend 1,000 dirhams, you get this much of points. These points can be used. And what we are trying to do with the Ministry or Department of Finance is to set the matrix. So if you collect 1,000 points, what are the services on which fee they can be used? So basically, the points which will be collected, it will be based on the spending.
My question is, you said that we are going to create an ecosystem, and all the businesses in the country will be part of that ecosystem. So what they will have to do to become a part of this ecosystem, they will have to upgrade their technologies, their internal systems, to be in line with the blockchain technology. That's one. And secondly, there's one more important aspect of the businesses here is the judiciary, the contracts that we execute. Will there be any such initiative into blockchain which will be touching the judiciary part of it, where they can issue a digital contract which will be based on the blockchain technology, so that the redressal mechanism can be simplified? Is there any initiative there?
Dubai judicial side, they are working on blockchain. Especially for your question, they are trying to use a smart contract feature of that to, have some sort of a contract which will be digital contract. Coming to first question, ecosystem, okay, as a customs, as a government authority, our role is to facilitate. But what happens is, since there is a lot of lack of trust between the different partners of the ecosystem, we as a government authorities need to always audit, check, inspect, and so on. So what happens is, it creates a lot of hurdles. Now you think it's a hurdle, but maybe from customs point of view, inspection is important for a larger area, where like a security of a country itself. Okay, now imagine if a platforms like a blockchain kind of a technology can build the trust in the ecosystem, and intermediary players get reduced. So data is available, it is immutable, so no one can change that data because it is cryptographed. If someone try to hack and change, it may not be possible because it has to change on all the entities of that blockchain node. So with this transparency, trust, immutability, a platform like blockchain can be really enabler. Now, second part of your first question is what you need to do. Blockchain is not really integration technology. A lot of time people think blockchain is again about integration. No, don't think more than a technology, you need to think about the philosophy of a blockchain in doing your promoting business. So you need to think about the innovative platform that can disturb the traditional business, which can be enabled by a blockchain technology. Okay, so you may, yes, there is one initiative about connecting all the hotel chains, okay, which is again in line with the, it somehow links to Dubai loyalty program. So imagine that loyalty point can be redeemed at hotels. Okay, so what you are doing is you are creating ecosystem. Now in this ecosystem, all hotel chain, your hotels will be a partner. Again, 80-20 rule. If you can get 20% of big guys, so your 80% of volume, that transaction will come. And with that, slowly, smaller player will be given some opportunity to use infrastructure provided by government because they can't have their own infrastructure. But that means that's how the ecosystem will be built.
May I now request Mr. Suresh Kumar, our chairman, to present a memento.
I think one of the outstanding features of Dubai Customs that I've noticed whenever I attended their Consultative Council meeting is how open they are to suggestions. And I think this is particularly important for IBPC members, many of whom are required to either directly or indirectly deal with the customs, to be able to channel some of their challenges, problems, issues, requirements, etc., through IBPC Secretariat to Customs, and it can be raised at future Consultative Council meetings. Mr. Behzad is the Client Happiness Director, and Mr. Naimanand has in his name Anand, which is happiness. So happiness is a very key focus area for Dubai Customs. They want to make sure that they have happy customers, happy clients, and we'll work with them to make sure that all IBPC members are happy in the process. And I must also thank His Excellency Sultan bin Sulaim, who has been very supportive, participative in meetings, and also Mr. Ahmed Mehboob, His Excellency Ahmed Mehboob, the Director General. So through Mr. Behzad, we'll convey our compliments to them and hope at some point in time they'll be here with us. Thank you very much.